Ha! My mail! I've been waiting weeks for this. It's just not the same. In the days of old, my friends and I would gather around a table. And play-by-mail just isn't cutting it. And the last thing I need is some computer program concerned with being a well-functioning table. It's not about the table, it's about the people and the worlds of imagination that spring to life between them. It's not a table that we need a playfield. A place that is ready to support the imagination, that rises up to meet it. A place without edges that constrain your fantasies, and flexibility enough to represent your ideas, even as you have them. Above all, we need a place of authenticity, where camaraderie and adventure may be fostered. No table can hold that. No table ever could. There is a spirit to tabletop games that has nothing to do with tables. And all that spirit needs to thrive among us is a playfield worthy of the name. For many years, distance and time have been the bane of our tabletop adventures. I feel a summons to something better. Better than play-by-mail, anyway. Yeah, what's this? TaleSpire, eh? I think it's worth a look.
Hello, I'm Johnny.
And I'm Chris, and floating up here should be Jason, and together we are Bouncy Rock, and we are making TaleSpire. As you've already gleaned from the trailer up above, TaleSpire is a way to play pen and paper role-playing games online. And it's a funny kind of game to talk about, because odds are you've had the idea for this game yourself. It seems really obvious. You would take beautiful sculpted miniatures and tiles and you'd marry them up with the kinds of systems you find in video games that really keep the focus on the gameplay and the story itself. And given that, it was kind of surprising, at least to us, that the game doesn't already exist in quite this way. And so when we were looking around to try and find out why, the most likely candidate, in our minds at least, is Risk. This is a risky kind of game for a publisher to take on, which also makes it a really natural fit for us to come to you here on Kickstarter, because doing it here means we're able to keep the game focused on what it absolutely needs to be. A beautiful place for us to play these games that we love.
Yeah, because we've been making these types of prototypes now for years, right?
Yeah.
So, and for me, at least, it started around No and Denied Persistent Worlds, because that was the probably the first and at least only video game that's been able to capture the pen and paper essence. And it is that essence that I wanted to put into a game, as in being able to have players actually matter in the world. So the first one we created, I believe, was like a Minecraft thing, right?
And we put the kind of role-playing elements into that space.
Yes, exactly. And more recently, we did one that's that looks a lot like what TaleSpire looks like today, but already had a rule set sort of built in. And it was when I started posting GIFs of that particular project that people went, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons in this, right? And another thing was when they saw the building stuff, it was like...
Waterdeep.
Yes, Waterdeep. I want to build Waterdeep. Or like giant dungeons. So that has really shaped where the game has gone from there.
And so, yeah, a lot of people have asked us over the last years when we were going to have a Kickstarter. And we really didn't want to come here until we had something solid to show. So back in January, we put together an alpha, and we've been running that for the last 6 months. We put out like 20 updates to the game, and the feedback has been awesome.
Oh, it's been amazing.
It's really cool. It's the kind of stuff that you can only realistically get when you have real people testing the different systems. And so whilst there are probably way more like takeaways we've learned from the experience than we could put in this video, like at least I can mention two of them. The first one was people want to go big.
Oh, yes.
They're building way bigger than even we'd anticipated. The whole Waterdeep thing wasn't a joke. And the other one, I suppose more reassuring to us, is that at least this iteration of the of the game is one that's able to support these kind of stories. People are able to tell the kind of stories they want inside it. Now, a lot of the systems obviously need polish or being totally kind of reworked to get them up to snuff, but it's on the right track. And so with all of this together, we're very confident about what we need to be building.
So yeah, let's talk goals. Because we're looking to raise 125,000 American dollars.
Yep.
And that is to take what we currently have, what TaleSpire currently is, into early access.
Yeah. So the money is going to go to a variety of things. The first and most obvious one, obviously, is wages, both for ourselves and then any specialists we need to bring in on particular tasks. There are also the kind of day-to-day running costs, license fees for tools, server costs, all that kind of jazz. And then the last segment really is all of the kinds of legal services that any company or game of this kind is going to require.
So we're shooting for a beta 6 months after the end of the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And then 2 months after that, we'll be doing the early access. This is an ambitious timeline. But based on the prototyping we've done, we feel we have a solid picture of what that looks like.
Yeah. Another thing of note is that during the early access, we are going to be releasing asset packs. We'll be releasing them at a regular cadence, and they're all going to be free. The reason we're doing this is we're going to build up from a kind of small but solid set of assets to the real range of assets that you're going to need to be able to run a proper multi-biome campaign. Cool, so we've been talking for a while now. We're gonna get out of your hair. If you check below this video, you're gonna see a whole range of gifts with many of the core features of the game, along with breakdowns of rewards and stretch goals. So do check those out. In the end, we're just really excited to be getting onto this next chapter of TaleSpire.
Absolutely.
The community has been amazing, and they've told us what they want. We know how to build it. So all we need at this stage is your help, and we can have this thing in your hand really soon. Thank you so much for checking out TaleSpire.
Thank you very much.